weird thing is that like, I'm a little nervous that we don't know how to do this by ourselves.
No, I'm not.
We don't
Let's
have
just
a
shoot it.
crew
It
right
doesn't
now.
matter. We
Okay.
can even talk about it like that. Like, just be honest. It's a diary. Like, are we doing this right? We really wanted to do a coronavirus diaries for you guys, just to let you know what we've been up to. And Khadijah's probably having the time of her life because I finally let us dress alike.
Alike but different.
You're happy.
I'm ecstatic. After all the time you've had to wait to become a mother, did you picture yourself finally having your child during a world epidemic? Because really it's both of them.
I don't think anyone would think that. I actually didn't know what a pandemic was until I was having a baby right in the middle of one. It's the most awkward time to have a baby, to go into labor that way, to have this incredible birth plan. I wanted a party in the delivery room. Like, I wanted
champagne.
I wanted grandmas, I wanted best friends, I wanted my sisters. I got one person. It was my son's father. He was amazing, but the idea of not having you in the room, my mom or anyone else, like, I felt like the hospital was a jail. So no, I would never guess in a million years. I've been so present for you and my best friend's deliveries, and to not have that myself, to put it lightly, it sucked. Between contractions and wanting to make sure that my baby got here safely and that I was healthy and all those things, you get distracted very quickly. And by the grace of God, we are completely fine. And I pushed that little guy out in the middle of a global pandemic.
Yes, you did. I think that was the hardest part for all of us, kind of standing around, calling each other nonstop, texting nonstop, like, oh my gosh, is she okay? Like, she doesn't have us, because most of us, when we had our children, we had a you.
Yeah, and I'm pretty damn good in the room.
She's really good in the room.
I'm low-key like an uncertified nurse.
Okay. So I think that was our concern. That was definitely my concern. Like, it hurt me to leave you.
I cried here when Chloe called. And
I know, when you're in labor.
And she doesn't cry like when she cried. And she was trying to hold it back. Like, it was just really, really tough.
Yeah. But the goal was to get Ace here healthy, and for Malika to be healthy, and for everybody to be okay. And I think the hospitals, it was strict at the time. I hated it. I waited in the lobby for 8 or 9 hours. We were just waiting to hear Odie say, he's here. He came and you were okay, and we got to see you guys over FaceTime. Like, that was everything, because we knew, okay, they were being really strict, but nobody got the virus. Everybody was healthy. The doctors and the nurses did what they were supposed to do. So for that, we're thankful. Yeah. Now that you have a newborn and it's like your experience home with your baby, like, how do you feel like that's been, especially during this time, you know?
I feel like the damn COVID-19 has stole the normalcy of like having a baby and creating memories with your infant, with your family and your loved ones and your friends. It has infected everything. I take my hat off to moms that just don't even have a choice but to knock it out with an infant by themselves. It's amazing to create those memories and your bond with your baby. I always intended to take time off when I had my kid. I just never intended to be so alone. My son has nannies that I was not able to bring in. I am more concerned about my son being safe and not being able to contract this devilish disease. I'm sleep deprived, thank God for makeup and clothing. It is very painful, but I haven't missed a thing with my son, so it is an incredibly bittersweet kind of welcome home. It's all on mommy. Honey, I have an infant, okay?
I think we're all praying that none of this lasts forever. This is why they say you have a birth plan, but God has another plan.
Yeah.
Because you think you're gonna get something and then something completely. Now, I never thought it would be a damn pandemic from a virus, but
who would ever think
Who
that?
would ever?
No one would ever think that.
No.
It's crazy. People don't think that they'll get a cold. So they damn sure don't think they'll get a virus that'll take you out of here. That's just like unfathomable thoughts.
But eventually the nannies will come and eventually you'll get more sleep. And I'll keep trying to help you as much as I can, but
Praise God.
do the best we can. Everyone should just do the best they can.
It is very different to experience life's lows and then realize that everybody else is going through the same things that you're going through. A lot of people are in agreement that when lifts, and I mean, we're all going to make up for all the time that we've lost. Sure. I would always choose for things to be a little bit different, but in the end, I'm still really thankful for the way that things have been, because I know I'm not the only person that's going through super tough times.
So if you had to change one thing about this experience, what would it be? You only get one thing, so think really
that
hard.
Is so hard. That's tough. It's so tough to pick one thing, because I think
You have a few things?
most people could relate with me. You would share a ton of things.
Right.
So
Okay, so
one.
just give us one. Just give us one at the top of your list.
I just wouldn't be worried about my son's health. That in itself is not that I don't think that if there wasn't a virus, I wouldn't be concerned about that, but that's at the forefront of my brain. I would have other people around that don't have symptoms and all of those things, but I cannot risk my son's health. Like, as bad as I want to be around people, as bad as I want pictures and memories and all of those loving experiences, I can't even clip his damn nails without being worried that I'm gonna hurt the baby. So I just wish I wasn't worried that my son would get this virus.
Yeah.
Okay, Khadijah, you're in the hot seat. I know your house has changed so much.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's the biggest effect that coronavirus has had on your household?
The biggest thing is that the kids are around 24/7. I love my kids dearly. Everybody, you know that. I think you guys know that. I love my kids, but I have 3 kids, and that's a lot of kids. It's a lot of personalities mixed in our household on a regular basis. Now, I'm also a parent that really loves a schedule. Schedule affects me, it affects my husband, it affects the kids, it makes my household cohesive. So with them not getting up in the morning and having breakfast and then going to school and having the structure and schedule they have at school, the fact that they are just home after breakfast and then home after lunch and then home until dinner, then the Gray household is a whirlwind.
Myself and my brother-in-law talked on the phone like, look, this whole virus thing is not cool. These kids are still in school, and I think we need to make an executive decision as a family to keep them at home.
I wasn't even home, I believe. I was at track practice with the kids.
And I wanted her to, I called her
And
like,
she's
you
yelling
need to
at me,
leave track practice. You get these, grab those kids. She's like, Christian's on the field. Grab your kids and get them out of there. We're not in public anymore.
Yeah, and then I get home and Bobby's like, yeah, so they're not going back to school anymore. I'm like, what? They can't go to school? He's like, yeah, me and Leeks were talking about it and we just think it's safe. And this is before the schools had shut down. I'm thankful for that. I didn't think they were being paranoid. I didn't think they were being fearful. I knew they were being safe and protective. And I guess, again, I'm so used to the schedule. I was just moving along in the schedule. They have this to do, they have that to do. And yes, I was paying attention to it. I watch the news. I watch the news every day. You guys know that. I wasn't thinking what the next phase of this was gonna be. And so we pulled our kids out of school earlier than everybody else did. Or maybe some other people did, I'm not sure. But my friends weren't doing that yet. So they were like, gosh, your kids aren't going to school. And I was like, no. I emailed all their teachers and their responses were amazing. Some were like, we don't have cases at the school, so, it's okay for them to be here. And I was like, well, as a family, we've kind of made this executive decision.
We're not waiting for cases at the school to pull the children.
Right. And we didn't, and thank God we didn't. And they've been home for a very long time. But I am thankful for that precaution because they are healthy and we just have to weather the storm now. all at home together all the time.
Celine asked you the other day, Mommy, when is Corona gonna be over?
Oh, she did.
What do you say to your kids about something that you barely even understand?
Well, I think when she asked me that question, I just said, honestly, I don't know. Like, Mommy doesn't know. I don't think a lot of people know, but what we're gonna do right now is we're just gonna make the best of what we have. Look, Mommy's not working as much, so now I get to spend more. I just completely derailed the conversation from Corona because I wish I had more answers, and I think we all wish we had more answers, and I just don't want them to live in fear. She's 6. She does not understand what's going on. She just knows that her world as she knew it has changed.
But what about the other kids? Like, what do the boys say?
Christian doesn't really care. He's like happy.
That is so typically him.
Yeah, he doesn't care because he's happy.
Playing games with
Yeah, he does, and I don't let that
all
happen.
day.
Yeah, I don't let that happen a lot, but it is kind of like summer break right now where you let a whole lot slide that you don't usually allow to happen. So, and then Bobby is like, I think he's happy to be home. He's always the first person up in the morning when school would happen. So he still doesn't mind getting up. He gets up, he takes the dogs out. So he still kind of does his regular schedule, but he gets to be a little more lackadaisical in his work. So it's like, yeah, no, Mom, I did that already. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and do it at like 12. Like he's just so, it's like in college. It's like my teenager is acting like a college student right now. So the boys are enjoying it. I think Celine kind of needs schedule. I'm still trying to stick to nap with her.
Yeah.
And it's hard. She's like,
she just doesn't.
why do I have to nap? I'm not at school. No, it doesn't want to listen to me at all. It's like, can you just take a nap? Because I think if you take a nap, then maybe you can go to bed later. Like I'm just bribing her the entire time.
You're not good at bribing. You leave that to me.
Yeah. No, I don't have as much incentives as you do. I'm Mom.
This is what's so funny to me because Mom was a school teacher and you would never choose to be a school teacher.
Never.
But look at this. Mom taught like maybe a class where there was like split grades or something, first and second together.
She should do second and third split.
Oh, right. But you've got 3 kids at different grade levels. How is that being the unofficial home study teacher?
You're
Sorry,
laughing.
I'm laughing.
It's not funny. I'm only laughing because I share her energy and that's something I can't control. It has been really difficult for me. The first week that the school implemented like children staying at home and being homeschooled, and then the online schooling kicked in, I cried the first 3 days. I came to a postpartum woman with a baby that was a couple weeks old and boo-hooed on her couch because I was so overwhelmed. Like, I should have a genetic trait, especially being the child of an educator, like where I could do this. I have felt so incapable of homeschooling my kids. You know this.
But Khadijah, I feel like there are so many parents that are like, wait. When did this become my job? It is so different to do homework with your child. Most parents will say, I don't remember half of this stuff. That was freaking 30-something years ago. But I think the point is you're just supposed to do the best you can do and not really like, no one's really expecting you to be teachers. I think that's the pressure you kind of put on yourself. And your kids have way too much work.
That's my point. It's not me. It's the load of work required. I think I have a 9th grader, I have a 3rd grader, and I have a kindergartner. I, most of the time, remember the kindergartner's work, how to do that. When they turn to me, when I'm like, oh, this is what the teacher is saying, you have to do this, and they turn to me and go, how do I? And I'm like,
I don't know.
It's like some of the stuff I know, some of the stuff I don't know. And that's frustrating as a parent to have your child ask you something and you be like,
I'm sorry, I can't help you with that.
Let's call grandma. Teachers are there, so I can go, okay, give me a second. Let me ask the teacher if she can video conference you to help you out.
But just grandma.
And we do most of the time, but it still registers like, I can't do this. Like that's what clicks in first. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
You need a
Yeah, I do.
I saw it.
I have.
You need a hug.
I have needed a hug. And here's the thing. I will never homeschool my kids.
Well,
I learned that it's teaching me something as a parent. You keep saying
I would totally homestead.
I know you keep saying that you would homesteady Ace, and I think that you could do it for the first couple of years.
I
It's
do it with
A,
help.
B, C,
I'll be
D,
clear.
E. See,
That's
don't have
not
help.
homesteading. That's basic education.
And that's what I'm saying. Once you get past the years of basic education,
you get a tutor.
yes. And moms, if that is your situation, I am with you. It has been hard. It's probably going to be hard for a while. It's okay to ask for questions, and it's okay to skip it and move to the next thing. That is how I'm getting by. Go, girl.
Can I tell you what I think is so dope? Like the fact that you are teaching the kids games that we used to play when we were younger. Like I did not love Monopoly, but her kids love Monopoly.
love
At 6, I didn't know how to play Uno. Celine
Uno.
is like so good at Uno. Like, so
Yeah.
some of the interactive things that you guys have been doing at home, like, do you think you'll do more of that?
Oh,
kind of stuff?
absolutely. Like, I feel like I used to let mom spearhead a lot of like the board games with the kids. I feel like I'll do that more because they're really gonna want to do that. I feel like I had to do it. I was kind of forced to do it too because they're an online school. So they're spending so much time on a screen already. I didn't want the desktop to turn it back to the iPad or the laptop. Like I wanted them to kind of, okay, you've been on that all day. Let's play a board game. We always are outside. They're very active.
You guys
but
are very interactive as a family. So I definitely, like, you guys could have a date night, just the two of you, but you choose for the entire family to go. And I think that that's But I think that stuff like finding new things for the family to do together, maybe that's something you'll keep up.
No, for sure we will. I feel like for a long time, it's going to be very family oriented. And then the close extensions of like friends and family, I feel like that's going to be our wheelhouse for a while.
Yeah, it'll trickle in.
I feel like I'm so social and I'm so ready to let everybody in and like, oh, you want to bring that friend with you or that child with, I feel like I'm just gonna keep it small groups for a little bit.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, just to be safe. So we want to hear from you. Let us know what you took away from this coronavirus experience.
I'm a genius. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm really bad at this, but that felt so good to say.
Watch it.
I'm a good liar, honey. This coronavirus, Malika.
Coronavirus experience.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, tell her to get it together, Ace.